Welcome back. I want to put this in perspective for you. And obviously the best way to put a story in perspective is to actually visualize it, right? So there is the visualization of what we're talking about right now in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that mustard area right there. That's where the spill is contained right now. But as you look around, you can actually see some places where some of the oil has also spread into some of the shipping areas and also some of these areas over here. The question is, where will it go? Will it move in this direction? Will it move back toward Florida and a part of the Florida Panhandle as well? And if that happens, if they're not able to cap this thing as they're planning to cap it in the next couple of days, then this thing could be Katie by the door. We could be talking like Exxon Valdez style proportions, which, as you know, is going to cost a lot of money. Now, there is a law that essentially was passed after Exxon Valdez, of all things. It says that a company that is responsible for something like this, in this case BP, only has to pay $75 million. $75 million, you ask. If this thing gets as bad as they say it could get, it would be, what, a drop in the bucket. Shouldn't they pay a whole lot more? Well, BP, is meeting with Congress today. Interestingly enough, it's a closed-door meeting. Let me bring Jessica Yellen in now. She's following this part of the story. Hey, I guess first question, $75 million. I mean, I just characterized it as a drop in the bucket for what this could become. Am I wrong?
It is a drop in the bucket. You're not wrong on that. Let me clarify one thing. BP is on the hook for all costs related to the cleanup of the spill. So no matter how high that part gets, even if it's in the billions, they are legally bound to pay for the cleanup. But the $75 million cap is what BP's liable for any economic or environmental damages. So that's the effects on local businesses, fishing, cleaning, you know, the down-the-line effects on the water and the ecosystem. The example I was thinking of, it's sort of like if your insurance company will fix the thing that leaked in your car, but it won't fix the effects of what that leak are.
Yeah, which sometimes could be your entire transmission.
Right.
And if we're talking about tourism in Florida during the early summer months, it is a transmission problem.
I guess so. Is that a car joke?
Well, no, but I mean, this is very, very, I mean, that's why you listen to Florida astronaut Nelson, Bill Nelson, and he's pushing for, he's saying the first thing we got to do is we got to get that cap from 75 million to 10 billion. Well, that's one heck of a difference. And he's also put, in fact, we've got tape of him talking, Jessica, about something else he wants to do from now on when it comes to drilling off the coast. Let's listen to that, and then I want your reaction on the backside.
The president's proposal for offshore drilling is dead on arrival. If I have to do a filibuster, which I had to 5 years ago when Senator Domenici was going to ram through drilling off the Gulf Coast of Florida, if I have to do that, I will do so again.
All right, he's a Florida guy, but he's a powerful guy, former astronaut, and he's fired up about this, isn't he?
Yeah, he's angry. Listen, he's opposed offshore drilling, and this just proves to him why he's opposed it all along. And he is among those who's pushing for this change in the law, as you say, to make companies liable to pay a lot more. One of the things I've heard from folks I talked to on the Hill is that they're still figuring out what kind of legislative responses they want to have to the BP spill and what's going to come. This idea of increasing the amount that the company would have to pay could be an amendment. It could be part of the bigger picture. It's not sure it'll get a lot of traction. I have to point out, Rick, that part of the way everything has been paid for in the past, there's a bailout fund that's been created after Exxon Valdez to help pay for some of this, and it's with an 8-cent a gallon tax on oil per gallon, 8 cents per gallon, and I can imagine...
So we've paid for it?
Well, the companies pay for it, but the argument often in Washington is if the companies pay, they pass that on to the consumers. So if BP has to pay more, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear someone saying, listen, we're all going to end up paying it. You could say we'll pay it one way or another, though. So,
but you know what? That just seems so terribly unfair. It's their screw up. It's their mess. Why does it have to become our mess? Why don't we take it off of their profits instead of us having to pay for it with some kind of bailout? Now, I know the difference between a trust fund or a trust account and a bailout, But it just seems in this case that there's going to be some angry people, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more Bill Nelsons coming forward and saying, hey, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. You caused it, you fix it.
And already a few more senators have signed on to this proposal you've talked about to increase their liability. So yes, it is gaining some steam.
All right, there you go. Good conversation. I appreciate it. Let's just hope in the next couple of days they get that giant concrete cone on top of those things, and maybe we can avoid the problem altogether.
That would be great.
All right, Jessica, we'll be looking forward to it. All right, meanwhile, take a look at this.